11 years of pursuit, dozens of murders. A DEA agent finally finds her. Inside a quiet house in California. No guards, no escape plan. She's sitting on a bed, reading a Bible. He walks closer, and then he leans down and kisses her on the cheek. Griselda Blanco Restrepo is born on the 15th of February, 1943 in Cartagena, Colombia. Her mother is a maid. Her father is a wealthy landowner who refuses to acknowledge her. She is illegitimate. In 1940s Colombia, that carries consequences. When Griselda's 3, her mother moves the family to Medellín. Medellín in the 1940s is poor, unstable, violent. This is the environment that shapes her. In 1948, when Griselda is 5 years old, Colombia collapses into civil war. Historians call it la violencia, the violence. It lasts 10 years. An estimated 200,000 people die. Villages are burned. Public executions become common. Children are killed in their homes. This is the world that raises Griselda Blanco. Criminologists who later studied her case noticed something important. For children raised during la violencia, violence no longer felt shocking. It felt normal. By the age of 11, Griselda Blanco is no longer an ordinary child. She runs with groups of street children in Medellín, pickpockets, thieves, survivors. Then the crimes escalate. A child from a wealthy neighborhood is kidnapped for ransom. The plan is simple. Hold the boy. Demand payment. But the family does not pay quickly. According to multiple biographies, including Cocaine Cowgirl, Griselda makes a decision herself. She shoots the child. He dies immediately. She is 11 years old. Some details of the story remain disputed, but multiple sources describe the same event. The violence associated with Griselda Blanco did not begin in Miami. It began in Medellín, before she was even a teenager. Before she turns 15, Griselda is living on the streets of Medellín. Archived reporting from the Miami Herald describes her surviving through theft, street crime, and sex work during her early teenage years. Multiple biographers also document sexual abuse inside her home, committed by her mother's partner. She was not leaving home to find opportunity. She was escaping abuse. A child who had already participated in violence, now learning how to survive alone on the streets. This is not the origin story of a businesswoman. It is the origin story of someone adapting to instability, and the survival strategies she learns in Medellín will later become the foundation of a criminal empire. Before Miami, before the cocaine empire, there were 3 husbands and 3 funerals. By her teens, Griselda is living with a man named Carlos Trujillo. He is older, a forger, a pimp. He becomes her first husband. They have 3 sons, Dixon, Uber, Osvaldo. In 1964, Griselda illegally enters the United States using forged documents. She settles in Queens, New York. Carlos Trujillo remains in Colombia. He later dies there. Officially, cirrhosis of the liver. Multiple sources later allege Griselda ordered his murder. The allegation is never proven in court. In New York, she meets Alberto Bravo. Bravo is a cocaine trafficker. Together, they begin building a major distribution network, moving drugs from Colombia into the United States. The money grows quickly. Then Griselda begins to suspect Bravo is stealing from her. In 1975, the dispute turns violent. A shootout begins in a parking lot. Bravo carries an Uzi. Griselda hides a pistol inside her boot. Bravo opens fire first. Griselda is hit in the stomach. She fires back. Alberto Bravo dies at the scene. Griselda survives. Her 3rd husband is Dario Sepulveda. They have a son together. Griselda names him Michael Corleone Blanco, after the character from The Godfather. Sepulveda later dies in Colombia after a custody dispute connected to Griselda. 3 husbands, 3 dead men. The nickname Black Widow follows her for the rest of her life. Most documentaries about Griselda Blanco begin in Miami. But her American empire actually starts in Queens, New York. By the early 1970s, she controls distribution networks across multiple boroughs, stash houses, money laundering operations, smuggling routes running from Colombia into New York and New Jersey. Her biggest innovation is logistical. Male couriers attract law enforcement attention. Female couriers attract less. So Griselda begins recruiting women as drug mules. Then she develops a more sophisticated method, a lingerie factory in Colombia. Bras and girdles are manufactured with hidden compartments sewn directly into the fabric. Cocaine crosses international borders concealed inside women's clothing. For years, it works. In 1972, the NYPD issues a warrant for her arrest. There is one problem. The DEA does not officially exist yet. It will not be created until 1973. Griselda Blanco had already become a major trafficker before there was a federal agency designed to stop people like her. By the late 1970s, Blanco moves her operation to Miami. The city begins to resemble an open-air war zone. Rival traffickers are ambushed in broad daylight, parking lots, intersections, shopping centers. Witnesses describe automatic gunfire echoing through food courts, bullet holes cut through storefront windows. The most infamous attack takes place at Dadeland Mall in 1979. Gunmen armed with submachine guns open fire in broad daylight. Multiple people are hit. The attack becomes one of the defining moments of the cocaine cowboy era. Investigators believe the public violence is intentional. Fear itself becomes part of the business strategy, but the violence does not stop with rivals. In 1982, a 2-year-old child is killed during a hit connected to Blanco's organization. He is not the target. He is simply nearby. Blanco is eventually convicted in connection with the murder. It becomes one of only 3 homicide charges formally brought against her. Investigators attribute at least 40 murders to her organization. Other estimates place the number far higher. The exact total may never be known. By the 1980s, federal authorities are fully focused on Griselda Blanco. One DEA agent in particular becomes consumed by the case, Bob Palumbo. For 11 years, he tracks informants, financial records, phone calls, and false identities. Blanco constantly moves, changes appearance, changes locations, avoids capture repeatedly. Then a tip arrives. Irvine, California. A quiet suburban neighborhood. No visible guards. No security detail. Palumbo and his team enter the house, room by room, quietly. Then they reach the bedroom. A lamp glows beside the bed. An open Bible rests in a woman's hands. One of the most feared traffickers in the United States. Reading scripture. She looks up and speaks in Spanish. "My name is Betty." The passport beside her says otherwise. Palumbo walks toward the bed. 11 years of pursuit. Dozens of murders. One of the DEA's most wanted targets. Then he leans down and kisses her on the cheek. Assistant U.S. Attorney Stephen Schlesinger later describes the moment publicly. According to him, Palumbo is overwhelmed with relief. The pursuit is finally over. Years later, Palumbo explains the moment himself. "She did not kiss me," he says. "I can only imagine what she would have liked to do instead." The case file records the arrest, but it never truly explains the kiss. Griselda Blanco spends nearly 20 years inside American federal prisons. She is deported to Colombia in 2004. After returning, she lives quietly. No visible empire, no armed convoy, no public power. The 3rd of September 2012, Medellín, Colombia. Griselda Blanco is 69 years old. That afternoon, she leaves a butcher shop carrying groceries. Her pregnant daughter-in-law waits nearby in a car. Then a motorcycle approaches. A man steps off calmly and walks toward her. Witnesses later describe him as deliberate, composed. 2 shots. To the head, Griselda Blanco dies on the sidewalk. Her daughter-in-law places a Bible on her chest. Decades earlier, Blanco had helped popularize motorcycle assassinations during the Miami cocaine wars. In the end, the same method finds her too. No one is ever charged with the murder. Griselda Blanco had 4 sons. 3 die in drug-related violence. Dixon, Uber, Osvaldo. 1 survives. Michael Corleone Blanco, named after a fictional gangster. He is alive today. He sells clothing and merchandise using his mother's image. He describes himself as her heir. The woman on those shirts was connected to decades of violence, including the death of a 2-year-old child, possibly dozens of murders, possibly far more. And the question is no longer about Griselda Blanco herself. It is about what society chooses to remember and what it chooses to turn into legacy. If you have a perspective on that, leave it below.